Hi everyone, this is Tisch Aitken, and it is January 12th, 2023. Happy New Year. I haven't been on for a while. And we have a big event today because Mars, which is the planet of how you take action, how you move ahead, how you garner results. Mars just stationed direct at 3:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 8 degrees and 8 minutes of the mutable air sign of Gemini. And I can barely speak in Gemini rule speech, but right now it's very, pardon me, very humid where I am, and I'm losing my voice. But many of you may feel like you've been losing your voice for a long time because Mars retrograded in the sign of communication when it retrograded on October 30th, 2022 at 25 degrees of Gemini. And at that point, it set off Neptune, which is a planet of dreams and delusion and confusion, and it can dissolve things. And Neptune can make it very difficult to move ahead. It rules Pisces, and it's boundless. And Mars is very intent on moving ahead and getting action and making things happen. It rules the sign of Aries. So when it's retrograde for all of us, Mars only retrogrades once every 2 years. And so that's not very frequent. And it's a personal planet. And again, it gives us our passion, our drive. It can rule anger. It rules Aries in modern astrology. It rules Scorpio in ancient astrology. And with it retrograde in the sign of communication, communication could be definitely more challenged in the last few months. Mars was also out of bounds. It has been since October 22nd, and it will be until May 5th. And that means it exceeds the sun's declination. And therefore, it does not play by the rules, and it amplifies the energy of Mars. So people can be extra fiery or, enraged or passionate. And impassioned, hopefully. But right now, we're all feeling the Mars energy very strongly. And this is a very significant date because on January 12th of 2020, we all entered the true epoch of Capricorn because the two malefics of the zodiac, Saturn, which represents karma, and it rules people in authority and corporations, and Pluto, which is the planet of death and regeneration, met up at the world point at 22 degrees of Capricorn, which influences every one of us. And that's when many structures in our world collapsed forever. And then we entered the new age of Aquarius at the end of 2020 when Saturn met up with Jupiter. Saturn is the structure, Jupiter is the vision at the very first degree of Aquarius. Now the story, and there are many stories in the year of 2023. We began this year with both Mars and Mercury retrograde. Again, Mars only retrogrades once every 2 years. That's a big deal, and I have felt very tired and drained the last few months from this. The Mars energy has been very palpable for me. But Mercury doesn't bother me generally. It retrogrades 4 times a year for approximately 3 weeks. So we have to deal with it. And it often can be helpful for revising things, redoing, returning to things, reconnecting, etc. But when you begin the year with 2 planets retrograde, both in Mercury rules communication. It's transiting in Capricorn and it retrogrades. It is retrograde rather. And Mars is just stationing direct and it will remain in Gemini through the end of March, but it's going to be out of bounds again till May 5th. And we felt the buildup 5 days before, starting on January 7th, and we feel it 5 days afterwards. And that means, again, the words associated with Mars, both good and bad, are amplified. And, we still can feel that backwards energy. Mercury is currently retrograde. It will station direct on January 18th at 11 degrees of Capricorn. Oh, pardon me. The retrograde energy at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So Mars is stationing direct today at 8 degrees and 8 minutes of Gemini, which is a mutable air sign connected with communication, siblings, and local community. Mercury will station direct on January 18th at 8 degrees and 9 minutes of the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn, which deals with responsibility and with, structuring your goals. And Mercury is how you transport things. It's how you communicate. It's how you learn. It rules speech and thoughts. And, we just had a lot of cancellations with flights, a lot of issues with travel recently. And we're going to probably have a lot of big events in the next few days with the Mars station. And more importantly, later this late winter or early spring, we're feeling a huge shift because Saturn, which is the planet of karma and influences what all of us are experiencing in some way, is going to be entering the sign of Pisces, and we'll be entering the age of Pisces in the sense that we'll be much more centered on the arts and on mental health and on intuition and metaphysics in a different way, in a more psychic, intuitive, metaphysical way, more creative way, more hippy-dippy perhaps, but fun and manifesting and connecting with dreams. Very much about the arts, which have been neglected so much. Very much about mental health, which has been neglected so much. We just had a new number for mental health, 988. And we had Jupiter, the luckiest planet, transiting on and off in the sign of Pisces. And at the end of the year, it was transiting at the final degree of Pisces, at 29 degrees, which is the final degree of the zodiac. And that can be associated with self-undoing. It is a fixed star known as Shiat. And a lot of people were struggling with depression and with mental health issues at the end of the year, and we were in eclipse season. And that will be a huge focus this next few years. I think that was a preview of what we're all going to be dealing with, in the sense that Saturn, we work with something, we deal with it, we like the judgment card, we address it, we don't just sweep it away. And mental health has been so impacted by what we've all been experiencing, and I think that's very much a huge trend with Saturn and Pisces, and certainly one I feel very connected to and will be working with in some way or every way that I can. And Pluto will be entering the fixed air sign of Aquarius. So we are not done with the Aquarian energy whatsoever, because that will occur on March 24th, and it will be transiting on and off for the very first degree of Aquarius, setting off that Saturn-Jupiter conjunction from December 20th of 2020, which ushered in a new vision for all of us about community and boundless learning and infinite possibility. But it's been very, very disruptive. And, we're all, going to be assimilating to a whole new reality. And this might be dealing more with things that are very weird, like artificial intelligence, that feel uncomfortable, but also more about the fact that we have to deal with the fact that technology is not going away, but we need to connect and build community if we need to focus on mental health. And so I think more focus on how technology has affected mental health, although it's instrumental in how we conduct many facets of our lives. So I've said a lot, and there's a lot more to take in. I will be doing a lot of writing this year, and I'll be changing things up a little bit, but I will be on here, and I probably will be focusing more on my podcast. And I encourage you, with Mars stationing direct, focus on what you want to charge ahead with in 2023. Mercury is still retrograde. It will station direct in conjunct Mars, which means there's a need for readjustment. There's a bit of an uncomfortable tone, and I think it's about dealing with taking action and being constructive without being angry, because a lot of us have been dealing with so much pain and have a lot of reasons to be angry in this time. So that's a message for the beginning of 2023. I wish you so much luck. Happy New Year, and I will be back, and I will be writing more. So thank you. Please sign up for my newsletter, and take care. Bye-bye.